Faith can move mountains, and precisely chosen words pave the way. There's something profoundly mysterious that unfolds when we quietly repeat certain words as night falls. This isn't about superstition or mere chance. It's a profound force connecting the seen to the unseen, the familiar to the unknown. Millions worldwide have witnessed remarkable transformations simply by reiterating a specific verse before drifting off to sleep. Have you ever wondered why certain individuals seem to effortlessly attract good fortune? Why do opportunities readily appear for some while others encounter invisible barriers? The answer might be closer than you imagine, embedded in ancient words that transcend time, carrying immense power. Today, you'll not only uncover this particular verse, but also learn how it acts as a master key, unlocking possibilities that once felt beyond reach. And if you've made it this far, it's no accident. Something within you recognizes that you are poised for this profound shift. If this message resonates deeply with you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel now. Everyone joining our community seeks the same thing: authentic answers for an extraordinary life. Your presence here truly matters. The connection between sacred texts and what we now call the law of attraction isn't a modern discovery. It's an ancient wisdom, forgotten and then rediscovered across centuries. When Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours," he wasn't speaking of magic. He was revealing a fundamental principle of how the universe responds to our focused faith. Yet here's a secret few fully grasp. Believing alone isn't enough. You must understand how, when, and with what words to articulate that faith. And the nighttime, that sacred interval between conscious and unconscious states, is when your mind is most receptive to deep programming. Have you noticed how your final thoughts before sleep seem to echo in your dreams? How worries carried to bed can turn into nightmares, or how grateful reflections lead to peaceful slumber? This isn't mere chance. It reflects a universal law governing how our consciousness interacts with reality. When we repeat specific phrases in the quiet of the night, we're doing more than just reciting verses. We are actively programming our subconscious with frequencies that align with specific possibilities. It's akin to tuning a radio to the precise frequency to receive your desired station. However, there's a vital distinction between randomly repeating words and using the right words with precise intent. Thousands repeat verses daily, but few experience genuine transformation. Why? Because they haven't grasped the underlying mechanism of sacred words' power. Proverbs 23:7 tells us, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." This passage reveals a profound truth about how our thoughts shape our reality. But there's an even more powerful dimension when we combine this truth with the specific nighttime practice you're about to discover. Imagine for a moment having access to a code that could reprogram your reality while you sleep. A code that quietly works during the deepest hours of the night, aligning circumstances, attracting the right people, and clearing paths that once seemed blocked. You might be thinking this sounds too good to be true. That's precisely the reaction your conditioned mind will have. It's been trained to believe that real transformations are difficult, requiring struggle and suffering. But what if that very belief has been precisely what has kept you stuck in limiting patterns? The truth is, resisting extraordinary possibilities is more of a habit than a form of protection. As a child, you naturally believed in infinite possibilities. You didn't question if a fish could fly or if someone could find hidden treasures. Your mind was open to the impossible. This openness wasn't naivete, it was wisdom. And you can reclaim it starting tonight with a simple yet revolutionary practice that reconnects you to your innate power of co-creation. But before revealing this specific verse, you need to understand why it works so powerfully. It's not just about the words themselves, but how they interact with specific states of consciousness that occur during the transition between waking and sleeping. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brain cycles through specific wave patterns as we drift off to sleep. There's a particular window, known as the hypnagogic state, where our conscious mind relaxes its grip, yet we retain some lucidity. It is in this precise moment that our deepest programming can be accessed and modified. Spiritual traditions have always been aware of this. Tibetan monks, Christian mystics, Islamic Sufis, all developed nighttime practices that leverage this sacred window of transformation. The verse you are about to discover is one such practice, refined through centuries of application and proven effectiveness. Many people report that after just a few nights of repeating these specific words, they begin to notice extraordinary synchronicities. Opportunities that seemed impossible start to manifest. The right people appear at the perfect moment. Solutions to long-standing problems emerge almost magically. This isn't magic, it's alignment. When you program your mind with the correct frequencies, you naturally begin to vibrate in harmony with the possibilities you wish to attract. It's like tuning a musical instrument. Suddenly, you can play melodies that once sounded discordant. But here's something that might surprise you. The most potent verse for this practice isn't necessarily the most well-known. It's not Psalm 23, beautiful as it is. It's not the Lord's Prayer, fundamental though it may be. It's a verse that combines three specific elements: directed faith, positive expectation, and surrender to the divine. Perhaps you've spent years striving to transform your life through sheer willpower. Maybe you've attempted visualizations, affirmations, even other spiritual practices. And while some have worked partially, you sense that something is still missing, that there's a deeper level of transformation you haven't yet reached. This feeling isn't imagination. It's your soul recognizing that you are ready to access a power that transcends personal effort. A power that works through you, not against you. A power that transforms your life while you rest. The frustration you might be feeling right now, that eagerness to know the verse immediately, is actually a sign that your consciousness is expanding. It's acknowledging that something greater is available to you. Have you ever pondered why Jesus chose to speak in parables? Why did great spiritual masters throughout history use symbolic and metaphorical language? Because certain truths cannot be conveyed through logical explanations alone. They need to be experienced, lived, embodied. The verse you're about to discover functions in this way. It's not merely a phrase to memorize. It's a gateway to a new way of existing. A way where you don't have to fight against life, but can dance with it. And if you feel you've arrived here because you're ready for this dance, then you are in the right place. But true transformation demands more than just knowledge. It requires consistent application and sometimes expert guidance. That's why I've created a comprehensive guide featuring advanced manifestation techniques that will further amplify the power of this verse in your life. These are tested methods that accelerate results and deepen your connection with the divine. If you feel you need more than just the verse, if you want to completely master the art of conscious manifestation, access the link in the first pinned comment. You'll discover tools that will transform not just your nights, but your entire existence. Now let's deepen our understanding of the mechanism that makes this verse so effective. Philippians 4:8 instructs us to fix our thoughts on whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy. This isn't merely a moral suggestion, it's a technical instruction on how to program our minds to attract elevated experiences. When you consistently direct your thoughts toward elevated qualities, especially in the receptive state of transitioning into sleep, you are literally reprogramming your reality. You are shifting the frequency at which your consciousness vibrates, and consequently, the type of experiences you attract. But there's an even deeper dimension. The specific verse you are about to discover doesn't just elevate your vibration. It creates a bridge between your human will and the divine will. It is this harmony that generates the most extraordinary results. Many people try to use the law of attraction as a way to control the universe. They want to force specific outcomes through intense visualizations and repetitive affirmations. But this approach often leads to frustration because it's based on separation. You against the universe, your will against divine will. The verse you're about to learn teaches a different approach. It teaches collaboration, not domination. It teaches how to align your desires with the natural flow of creation, so that manifesting becomes as natural as breathing. Imagine waking up each morning, feeling carried by an invisible current toward your dreams. Imagine obstacles that once seemed insurmountable naturally dissolving. Imagine the right people appearing at precisely the right moment, offering exactly what you need. This isn't fantasy. It is the natural outcome of aligning your consciousness with universal principles that govern all creation. Principles that are encoded in sacred scriptures and that you can activate starting tonight. But here's something crucial you need to understand. This verse isn't a magic formula that works automatically. It's a tool that amplifies your faith, your intention, and your openness to receive. If you repeat it mechanically, without emotional involvement, it will just be another empty repetition. The key lies in how you repeat it, with what feeling, with what expectation, with what degree of surrender to the divine process. Each word needs to be felt, not just thought. Every syllable needs to carry your deepest faith. Perhaps you've had past spiritual experiences that left you disappointed. Maybe you prayed for things that didn't materialize, or tried techniques that didn't work. That pain is real, and it's understandable that you've developed skepticism as a form of protection. But what if this skepticism has been precisely what's prevented you from accessing the extraordinary? And what if the protection you've built around your heart is also a prison keeping miracles out? I'm not suggesting you abandon your discernment. I'm inviting you to consider that perhaps it's time to open a small crack in that armor, allowing a new possibility to enter your life. Faith moves mountains, but the right words open pathways. These aren't my words. They echo wisdom spanning millennia. And now, finally, it's time to reveal the verse that holds the power to transform your nights and, consequently, your entire life. Before I share these sacred words with you, I want you to understand that you are about to receive something precious. Something people have sought for decades without finding. Something that might be the key you were searching for without knowing you were searching. The verse is from Mark chapter 11, verse 24, where Jesus reveals, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." It might sound familiar, but observe the words carefully. It's not believe that you will receive. It's believe that you have already received. This difference is not merely grammatical. It is revolutionary. When you repeat these words in the quiet of the night, you are not asking for something you lack. You are acknowledging something that already exists in the realm of infinite possibilities. You are aligning your consciousness with a reality that is already true in higher dimensions. But merely knowing the verse isn't enough. You need to understand how to use it in a specific way. First, choose something you wish to manifest in your life. Be specific, but don't attach to the how it should happen. When you are lying down, ready for sleep, close your eyes and feel gratitude for what you are manifesting as if it were already real. Not as something that might happen in the future, but as something that already exists now. Simply awaiting the right moment to materialize into your experience. Then slowly repeat. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Feel each word. Allow it to resonate in every cell of your body. Let it become a living truth within you. As these words echo in your mind, you might begin to sense a subtle shift in your energy, a feeling of alignment, of being in the right place, at the right time, with the right attitude. This feeling is the first sign that the verse is working. Don't expect dramatic results on the first night. Real transformation is an organic process that unfolds in layers. Some people notice subtle changes within a few days. Others experience deeper transformations over weeks. The key is consistency. Make this practice a sacred ritual, not just a technique you try when you remember, but a spiritual discipline you honor every night. Some observe extraordinary coincidences beginning to happen. Others report unexpected opportunities presenting themselves. There are those who experience an inner peace they haven't felt in years. Each person manifests according to their deepest needs. But everyone who practices consistently reports one thing in common: the feeling that they are no longer struggling alone against life, that there is a greater force working in their favor, organizing circumstances, aligning people, opening pathways. And if you practice this faithfully for 30 days, something extraordinary will happen. You won't just manifest what you desire. You will become the kind of person who manifests naturally. You will develop such solid faith that transformation becomes your second nature. Remember, you are not just repeating words. You are participating in a sacred dialogue with the creative force of the universe. You are declaring your readiness to co-create an elevated reality. You are becoming a conscious channel for the extraordinary. Nighttime is the perfect moment for this practice, because it's when your conscious mind relaxes and your soul can hear the whispers of the divine more clearly. It's when you can plant seeds of possibility in the fertile soil of your deep consciousness. But true transformation goes beyond techniques. It goes beyond verses. It goes beyond spiritual practices. Real transformation happens when you become a different person on the inside, when your identity aligns with your highest possibilities. And that is exactly what happens when you practice this sacred discipline with consistency and faith. You don't just change your life, you change who you are. And when you change who you are, your entire reality reorganizes to reflect that new identity. You might be feeling something stir within you right now. A hope you thought you had lost, a faith that was dormant, a sense that perhaps, finally, you have found something that truly works. This feeling is not an illusion. It is recognition. It is your soul remembering something it always knew, but that life's circumstances made you forget. You are more powerful than you imagine. You are more loved than you believe. You are more capable than you've been conditioned to think. And tonight, when you lie down and repeat these sacred words, you will be taking the first step to reclaim that truth. You will be beginning a journey that will transform not only your circumstances, but your very essence. Some people will hear these words and quickly forget. Others will try once or twice and give up when they don't see immediate results. But you, who have made it this far, you are different. You recognize that you have found something precious. The question isn't whether this will work for you. The question is, are you willing to be consistent enough to allow it to work? Are you willing to trust the process even when your logical mind questions it? Are you willing to hold on to faith even when the results aren't yet visible? If your answer is yes, then you are ready to experience transformations that go beyond anything you've ever lived. You are ready to discover that miracles are not rare exceptions, but natural consequences of living in alignment with universal spiritual laws. And when you experience your first significant manifestation through this practice, you will understand that it wasn't luck, it wasn't coincidence. It was the natural result of applying principles that govern all creation. It was the universe responding to your directed faith. So, tonight, when you lie down, remember that you're not just going to sleep. You are entering a sacred laboratory where possibilities are forged and destinies are redefined. You are becoming a conscious participant in the great mystery of creation. Faith moves mountains, and the right words open pathways. Now you know these words. Now you know how to use them. The only question that remains is, will you use them? Will you give yourself the opportunity to experience the extraordinary? If this video touched your heart, if you recognize that you've found something special, show it by liking and subscribing to the channel. Share it with someone who needs to hear these words. Become part of the community of people who are transforming their lives through applied spiritual wisdom. And in the comments below, simply write, "Faith moves mountains, but the right words open pathways." These words carry power, and when you write them, you are declaring your intention to practice what you've learned. Your journey of transformation began today. Where it will lead you, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, you will never be the same.